Hey vinyl community, this is Luke. Welcome back. Today I thought I would try something which is a little bit more involved than I normally try to do as far as videos is concerned. This video may be a little bit longer because of it. I was watching Jeff Kempin and Andy's Vinyl Den and a few other of the channels that I subscribe to, and they're doing their top 100, which got me thinking, and it was pretty intriguing, although it's a pretty large undertaking. So I'm going to give it a whirl. And one of the things I thought about as I was thinking about this for a couple of days, and one of the things that I really wanted to try, originally my thoughts were, top albums, are they, should I do the ones that most sell, most musically inclined? At the end of the day, what I decided was 100 albums. All of that means something to me from an emotional point of view, from a memory point of view, visceral, they actually get a reaction. For example, I'm a large fan of Abbey Road. I think it's a great album. But at no point does it have any emotional impact on me. So the ones I'm choosing, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Abbey Road will be in there, but the ones that I'm choosing more because of the emotion they bring back, or the memories they bring back, or things of that nature. That said, I understand it's going to be a little bit of a long haul, so hopefully you'll bear with me. If not, that's okay. I understand completely. So, let us start. The first one I chose, number 100, as it were. Sunny Side of the Street. This is Ella and Basie. This is Verve. It's the French press. And I chose this because if you watched my intro, I got back into record collecting about 6 years ago. And I'm a 55-year-old man. And so one of the things that I did when I started collecting records again is started collecting stuff from my youth, things that I recalled, rock and roll, classic rock, some punk stuff. And I just kept blowing past all the other stuff. And I was in one of my local thrift stores here, and I ran across Ella and Basie. And I was just, thumbing through, and I was going to just move along right past it, and it kind of clicked in my head, and I'm like, you haven't even considered a different genre of music other than the stuff that you normally listen to, which is, classic rock, etc. And for those of you who are substantially more mature than me, you probably had this revelation years ago. I'm a little immature. I'm really an 18-year-old boy stuck in a 55-year-old guy's body. I chose to have my maturity moment in music here, this record. I bought it. I liked it. I started listening to it. I expanded my horizons. I started listening to jazz, much more jazz, a lot more of the singer-songwriters that normally I would have passed on. So that's why Ella and Basie is at my number 100. Number 99, if you saw my introduction video, you know why I chose this. Certainly not because of their musical prowess. They're a great metal rock band, hard rock band. But, they're not avant-garde musicians. But this album comes in at number 99 because it was the first album I ever bought with my own money. So, and the die cut cover is still just as cool. At 98, Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Works. Now, I got this when I was a teenager, and I had bought Carnival. Yeah, Welcome Back, My Friends, the 3-record set because of Carnival 9, and so I love the color on this thing, the cover and everything else. So I bought Works, and it's on this list because, like every other teenage male, my father and I butted heads a lot. And surprisingly to no one, a lot of times it had to do with music. Well, Piano Concerto 1 from Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Works was kind of that bridge. I would put it on one day and I'm listening to it and I'm like, this doesn't suck, it's pretty good. And my dad was at home and I was obviously playing my stereo loudly like most of us did. And my dad kind of said, this doesn't suck. So we had that bonding moment over Piano Concerto 1. So this comes in the top 100 and it comes in at number 98 for that reason. Jim Croce. Man, he died way too young. What a talent. Don't mess around with Jim. I had heard Bad Bad Leroy Brown, and it was so cool when I heard it. I think it was in 73, 74, I don't recall. I didn't own a record player as a kid. I had, pop radio stations. But you don't mess around with Jim. Great song, and every time I put this album on, it brings me back to a very warm, safe time in my life. I guess I was maybe, 12 years old when the song had come out, and it was just it was on the radio a lot, and every time it came on, it brought a smile to my face, and, it was that, at that age, most of us don't have a care in the world. The biggest worry you have is, did you do your homework the night before? And in my case, the answer was always nope. Never did my homework the night before. But every time I put this record on, it automatically makes me smile. It brings me back to a time in my life where everything was simple. It was, collecting baseball cards and playing in the sandlot with my buddies, or street hockey in Ronkonkoma as a kid. So that one hits, and that one comes in at number 97. Number 96, a little bit similar setup. And American Pie is on this because this and Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog are probably the most vivid songs I remember from my real early youth. I can remember listening to American Pie and Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog in my aunt's car as we were driving through Astoria when I was a very young boy, and singing along with them. They were singing, I was mouthing, pretending I knew the words. And again, very similar to the Jim Croce, just warm, fuzzy memories. So, and seriously, American Pie is a great song. I mean, it's a chronological history of rock and roll since the death of Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and the Big Bopper. I actually had an English teacher in high school that gave us a test on American Pie, which is another reason why it's a great album, because Mr. Troller, God bless you, I know you passed away a few years ago, but you were one of the few English teachers that actually got me to pay attention in class. He gave a test on American Pie. One of the things he quizzed us on was how many bands can you name in this album. And whether, I've never verified it, so I don't know whether it's true or not, but one of the things he said is that Bob Dylan's mentioned in that. And we're like, no, he's not. And he goes, yes. when the jester stole his thorny crown. The jester is Bob Dylan, according to this song. So, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm going to go with it because he was a great English teacher and he gave us a test on American Pie. So, seriously. Okay, next up, David Bowie's The Lodger. There's a lot of David Bowie songs that will be a lot of albums. I like David Bowie. Not one of his better albums. I agree wholeheartedly, but it's on this list because the song also had a really great video. Now, this song came out before music television, but then they were just starting to put videos on television. And as a young teen, my folks owned a restaurant, and I worked in a restaurant, and I would come home late in the evenings on Friday and Saturday nights, and home in time to watch the, I guess it was Don Kirshner's rock concert, and this video and the song I Am a DJ just mesmerized me. I went out and bought the album just for that song, and it, again, great time for music, great time as a kid, come home, you know, no one would tell me, go to bed. It was that right between those tween years where you're old enough, where your parents let you stay up late. Well, this video, it was always a reminder of those times, or this album and the song I Am a DJ in that video. And although I babbled about this album, I think you guys get my point. Next one up is a band that most of you will not know, and if you're from Long Island, you will know it if you're from the island. If you're not, you probably won't know it. The Good Rats were a product of Long Island. They did quite a few albums. They have a pretty extensive catalog for a minor band from Long Island. But Tasty and, you know, Back to My Music and the song Tasty, I started really getting into rock, and these guys were out there, and I just thought they were so freaking cool. Pepe Marcello, who's the lead singer, I think he passed away a few years ago, but Pepe Marcello was the lead singer, was famous locally, and you can still see some of the videos on YouTube if you ever get a chance to catch one, for strumming his baseball bat during shows. He actually had a bat and dressed it up like a six-string, and he would go ahead and strum his bat. But really good bluesy riffs on this album, and again, just a lot of fond memories of listening to this record, of coming into my own as a teen in the time when this was out, 14, 15 years old, really kind of starting to define yourself, or what you think you're doing is defining yourself. But, you know, just again, some warm fuzzy memories coming in from this album. Coming in at 93, the Head Boys, The Shape of Things to Come. Great song. To this day, I do not know why, but I chose the song A Shape of Things to Come as my quote for my high school yearbook as a senior in 1981. Most of you will understand me when I say I have no godly idea why on earth I did that. But I did, and because of that, this has to be included in my top 100. Also, great song. Not a bad record, but a great song. Head Boys, Shape of Things to Come. Number 92, Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra. Fun fact, if you don't know, Strangers in the Night was Sinatra's only one of two #1 songs Sinatra ever did. Another one, I believe, was 1946. And then he hit #1 again with Strangers in the Night. This album is on here because of the song Strangers in the Night. I had, as a young boy, I spent a lot of time at a relative's home here on Long Island. And my uncle was just phenomenal. He was funny. He was just a really nice guy. And Strangers in the Night was one of his favorite Sinatra songs. And I must have heard this damn thing every single weekend for 2 solid years. And I guess it was probably 73, 74. But it's just such a great memory of a great man. And so this comes in at number 92. Also, Strangers in the Night is really a great song, just as an aside. And number 91, and the last of this for this segment, The Vapors, Nuclear Days. Turning Japanese was the first song of the new wave era when it come out. I loved it, listened to it, and then I just checked out the band, and I was like, these guys are so cool. I guess I was 16 years old, and first you dip your toe into the alt rock, punk rock, new wave, and everyone has that band that kind of pushes them in that direction, or you can relate to. For me, it was the Clash. But to get to the Clash, one of the ways that expanded upon it was the Vapors, Nuclear Days. Aside from Turning Japanese, which is certainly my favorite song on this record, Letter from Hero is a great freaking song. These guys, I mean, they only did 2 albums. I think Eyes was the other one. I actually have it somewhere. I've listened to it, I think, twice in my life. But I loved Nuclear Days so much that I actually went out and bought it as soon as it came out. But Letter from Hero is a great song. This is a great album. It's one of those albums you can pretty much play cover to cover, side to side, and not be terribly disappointed on any tracks. They're not terribly deep, with the exception of Hero. Turning Japanese is what it is, and it's about what it's about, and had no idea at the time, but didn't matter. They had killer riffs and a great hook. So number 91 for me, The Vapors, Nuclear Days. So that's it for the first batch of 10. I hope I did not bore you too much. I see that this video is about 6 minutes longer than my others, and I do apologize for that. However, I thought that if I'm going to choose the records I'm going to choose, I should at least give an explanation as to why I pick them, as opposed to just randomly choosing 100 records from my collection that are, cool. Because, I mean, if they're in our collections, it's because we like them. So we can probably grab any 100 at any given point in time and say, this is going to be one of my top records. It's just natural. So, that said, I thank you for watching. Please leave me a comment, subscribe. I'm having a really wonderful time doing these videos, and hopefully I'm not boring you too badly. Nonetheless, have a wonderful day, have a great week, and I will do the next 10 in a few days. Again, have a great day, have a great week. I'll speak to everybody soon.